So great to be here. Good evening. Thank you very much for the invitation and also for the invitation from the TEDx organizing team. I'm looking forward to have this short talk here with you together and share that idea. Well, a couple of months ago, my son asked me, "Dad, how would it be when we are 300 years old?" Well, I stared at my son. There was doubt somehow, and I tried to get around the answer because I didn't have the answer. And then I said, "Well, son, let me think about that a little bit, and I will come back to you with the answer to that." And luckily, I got away from him without giving him a wrong answer. And then when I thought about that question, because that question is nice, 300 years from now. We're used to think about the next 2 months, 2 days, 50 minutes, about the next 20 years might be. 50 years is a problem, but 100 years, 200, 300 years, that's amazing. I would say that's pretty astonishing to what conclusions you can come. Well, one of my research topics is future of work. So how will we work in the next 10 years, 15 years? And there was one story that was told to me a couple of years ago, in 2009, from a company, a service-oriented company from Switzerland. And that company said, well, it was a time of the swine flu pandemic. And they said, well, what is the case if the swine flu pandemic is hitting us? We can't provide our value, we can't create our value when this swine flu is really coming and approaching us. Now, that is a problem. And at the same time, that company also wanted to reorganize their office infrastructure. So they decided, well, okay, we rebuild our office infrastructure and we try to work in a very, very decentralized way. So they have an office building and they called it Virtual Summer. They created a social office with many, many meeting spaces, a 5-story building, and they reorganized the whole thing. And they sent away all their employees, 500 employees, for 3 months. They had to work everywhere or anywhere. They worked at home, at Starbucks, but not in the office. That was the instruction. Don't come here to work. Take your customer, for example. Go to your customer and work there. Good idea. So they did that, and after a couple of months, they came back, and the whole office was reorganized with lots of meeting spaces, and they measured the success, and they said, wow, we had a 20% increase in productivity, and we have a 20% decrease in carbon dioxide footprint. Wow, that's a result for something like that. And that's pointing in the direction what is related to this question, the evolution of work, which is a topic of the overall talk here. Saying, well, okay, this is a concept, working in a decentralized way, not at the place, in different teams, in different spots, third places. And this is really one of those concepts we talk about when we talk about evolution of work. Flat hierarchies is another one, working with a crowd, with a community. Data sharing, information sharing, knowledge working, all these things are also mentioned, but mobile work, mobile and flexible work is something that definitely belongs to the future of work. Well, at least we know that we have some choices. Now when we design our careers, our professional path, on the left-hand side, status and security, these are the old terms. Working in a secure job or making career progress. And these days, the last 30 years, we know that the right side was more and more expanding. Self-determination, for example, the whole creative class is working in this field of self-determination, or agility, the new specialists, new experts working on the global level, they work with a high degree of agility, agile working, agile projects, and so on and so forth. But, well, we can design our professional path in the 4 domains here. But wait, that's something that is told by science to us. Wait, is it really true? Or isn't it a hybrid, mixing the things together? A little bit security, a little bit status, a little bit self-determination, a little bit agility? Isn't it a combination? Isn't it a hybrid? Well, that is something that was striking somehow, and we started to ask questions. And I started to talk to people, and I found people who worked in portfolios, different activities, different domains in which they are active, and that relate their activities from one domain to the next to the next. And they created value out of this bridging, this boundary crossing of professional domains. So we talked to 24 people in this study and had interesting conversations about that. We started to ask the question, where do you feel home? So where's your home? In your professional life, where do you feel home? What's your base? Where do you start? And they gave different answers, and as it is the case in social science research, you get big topic landscapes with so many quotes. And that's really too much for here and now, but I only want to share 4 central drivers or topics with you. So first, most of these guys said, well, we don't want to have organizational restraints. We don't want to be bossed around. Yeah? There should not be an institution that's telling us this is the correct direction we should go for. I mean, in the combination of different professional domains, creating value from boundary spanning, then the question is, well, where's the boundary and how can we overcome it? No organizational restraints was an important driver for these professionals and these persons to mix their job and set it up in different professional domains. First of these topics, very interesting. Second thing was a very dominant thing that was told about who to work with, the choice, to have the choice who to work with. Obviously, when you enter a job, you cannot choose your colleagues. It's impossible. 95% of your colleagues, that's preset, that's given. You cannot choose who to work with, at least not in the first step. Well, for those persons we talked to, that was key. To say, well, I don't have time to work with guys I don't like. I have to choose who I want to work with. That's an important thing. Third topic here is space for important things. For those people working in a hybrid work style, they said, well, there's so many administration around and so many things I have to consider, but here the important things is better to work on one thing for a couple of days and not for 20, 25 things, and many of those related to administrative business. So here, important things is important, and the space to work on these important things. People choose when they have to finalize a report, they go to a mountain hut. When they have to draw a concept, they go to a monastery. Or they meet at Starbucks at the third place somewhere to be creative. That's a pretty important issue and topic here, to create the space for those important things. And the last thing, that's something that is more or less plausible, but well, there's a distinction that's important, is a collaborative spirit. To work together with others in one piece. I mean, the classical distinction is collaboration means you come together, you work together, and cooperation, that's a dominant style of work that we have. Cooperation means everybody has his piece, and we put everything together in the end, and we are highly, highly efficient. For those people here, hybrid workers, they said, no, we want to work together in a collaborative style. That's the important point. Well, these are only 4 topics out of 24 or something like that, but these are very dominant and they're setting the scene for this kind of hybrid work, which is one future orientation of work. But I thought about that, saying, well, there's a concept I studied a couple of months ago or last year. I found that's a concept that's called Ikigai. Do you know that concept? It's a concept for life sense or for meaning. Well, that's plausible when you see it immediately. Ikigai means that you have to combine the things that you love with that things that are needed in the world, with those things which you can be paid for when they do that, and those things in which you're good at. That's not necessarily the same. And, well, this Ikigai concept says, well, at least we have a mission. The mission is a combination of that what you love and what the world needs. A mission is a calling. The vocation is something where you have talent in. You just can do it. Yeah? You don't have to love it, but you can do it. Profession then is a thing in which we are trained, which we are educated. And it's also something where I'd say, well, not everybody likes his or her job, at least not after 5 years. And the last thing is then passion. Passion is the things, I mean, human resource professionals would say, well, what is that where you want to go the extra mile? I would say, what is the thing where you are enthusiastic about? Enthusiasm, that's important here. So those 4 pieces are important to have the maximum meaning of your day and of your life in general, to maximize this ikigai in the center. Well, I'm a business administration guy and management scientist, and we love red light systems and management cockpits. Well, here is a management cockpit. So my analysis regarding that is we are pretty good in profession. I'm working in that field as an educator. We're pretty good in designing professions. Vocation is something, well, we at least have to see what is it that the world needs. That's sometimes a problem, but well, those hybrid professionals, hybrid workers, they see that where they are needed. Then a mission, we are not so good in identifying the mission because it's a combination of what the world needs and what you love. And last thing there, the passion, that's something where I would say this is red light. I see too many people, and there are so many stories of these hybrid workers saying, well, there are so many setups where people are really not passionate about. Well, this is very helpful in answering my son's question, I would say. I would answer him. Well, the first thing is a good thing. Invest in yourself, that you can play in different domains. Be a teacher, be a consultant, be a creative guy somewhere, and combine it. Institutionally separated fields of activities, but you have to combine it, and you can get access to the different domains if you have education and investment in yourself. The second thing is try to make your office. Find the right spot where you can be productive, but if you don't find it, to be authentic, you have to make it. You have to create it. Create your office. Second advice. And the third one is, well, at least you should try to work with friends. You cannot select your colleagues, but well, it's worth a try to think, well, where is someone with who I could imagine to be a friend with? The third thing. I would say to follow these 3 advices takes a little bit longer than one lifetime, but at least it's worth a try to take the challenge. Below the bottom line, that would mean don't lose yourself in this kind of new complexity that you have in the next decades of working when you combine these different fields of activities in hybrid work. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope you share the idea with me. Thank you.